Welcome to day one of starting a podcast. I know I haven't made a video in a while, and to be honest, it's mainly just because I've been so busy. I got back from Japan, and then since getting back from Japan, I've kind of just been trying to get my life sorted, get it, back together kind of thing, because I spent all my money and blah, 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 etc., etc., etc. So yeah, I've just been super busy. Haven't really wanted to make that much content because A, I didn't really know what I wanted to make, and B, yeah, I just mainly busy really. Um, Making this today because I want to kind of update my thoughts, um, and just kind of talk to the camera, and because it's been a while, and you know, I don't want to stop. In fact, I want to be more consistent because yeah, I've kind of managed to secure myself a stable foundation. I've got a new job. I'm working in London and I'm living in London now. I've moved to London now. This actually isn't my apartment, but I move in next week or week after. So yeah, but this is a sort of the rundown as to where I want to take this camera content, however you want to word it. So yeah, basically, I won't make it too long of a story, but I was on the train the other day. Um, on my way to London because I've been back and forth constantly doing interviews, looking for all sorts. And I just kind of had the realization that my favorite things to make in terms of content is where I can speak to the camera and sort of present myself slash thoughts slash I guess you could say opinions, but not really because I don't like to be very opinionated. I like to be very open minded. So yeah, I was on the train and I just kind of had the realization that maybe the best course of action in terms of my content creation journey, I guess you could say, is to start a podcast. Because I like to discuss the world we live in. I think I just enjoy talking about, you know, what makes the world a good place, what makes the world a bad place, what makes it hard, what makes it easy, the best things in life, the worst things in life, how we can all help each other, how we can all grow, how we can all find more satisfaction in our lives. Because it's hard. I mean, I'd say for me, I mean, I'm 22 now, but the ages between sort of 16, maybe even 15 and now, I have chopped and changed a million times on A, what I wanted to do, B, who I am as a person, C, my friends, family, D, where I want to live, who I want to be around, E, my aspirations and goals. It changes like that. It can change in like days, sometimes, in a matter of hours. And I know it's a hard time period of life that not that many people discuss, I don't think. There's a lot of people discussing, you know, the business world and sort of your 20s. But I feel like the teenage years into 20s is kind of a little bit dismissed a tiny bit. And that's kind of the area I want to focus because I think that period of your life can make or break you in certain ways. So I think it's extremely important. Um, so yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to make a podcast. It's just gonna be me. I'm gonna be the host, and then I'm gonna get guests on and have them explain their life experience, describe their life experience. We can dive into topics. We can dive into what's helped them. We can give advice. We can, the thing is, I'm open to diversifying. I think diversifying is extremely important when making any business. And I also want to document the entire process from day one because, again, like I've said in previous videos, I think it's important. I think it's valuable, very valuable. And it keeps you responsible for, continuing. And lots of other reasons. But yeah. So this is day one of said podcast. I'm in London now. I have, I'm working full time, but my hours allow me to have, quite a lot of free time in the day and stuff. So it works for me. I won't go into detail because it does it's irrelevant and, but it's a good job. And that's another thing I'd say, in fact. So a lot of people say, and I struggle with this a lot. Oh, don't get a job, don't get a job, don't get a job. You need to focus on your business. Your business is number one, blah, 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 blah. Yes, but for me, that hasn't worked. I've put myself in a difficult financial situation by not getting a job and avoiding work. And it's necessary. If you don't have a financial foundation to work from and to grow from, because building a business or building anything takes time, and with time, you need to put food on the table, so money needs to be spent, therefore you need to earn money. I am not against that. I've learnt to not jump into business from that direction because it doesn't work. You need an income, because income gives you time. You may think it takes time from you, but that's only in the short term. In the long term, it gives you time because it allows you to focus on whatever you're building for longer, which therefore gives you more time. So anyway, I guess now I'm just going to go through kind of like what my ideas are for the podcast, what my goals are, what all of that kind of stuff. And yeah. Okay. So the name for said podcast is the Lost Podcast, because I think that's the area in which I want to focus on mostly. That feeling of feeling lost, that feeling of not knowing what to do, that feeling of not, having any goals, aspirations, not knowing which direction to go in. I've always struggled with that, and I don't think it's necessarily something that everyone experiences, because some people very much know what they want and chase it and get it, whatever. But it's something I've always struggled with, and it's something I think I've inherited. My dad has always kind of, felt that as well, because he's done countless different jobs in his life. So maybe it's, genetic. I don't know. But yes, the Lost Podcast is the name. In terms of the main topics, so obviously, yes, feeling lost. Is one of the main ones. Finding purpose, I would add to that. So I think as well, I'd like to go and dive into sort of like big question mark, topics. So for example, alcohol, for example, drugs, for example, relationships, for example, business. For me, this is building a business, and I want to get some of that into it as well. So maybe I'll add that. Sort of the lifestyle of building a business. And I just want to also add, like, people think, oh, building a business, yeah, Ferraris and Lamborghinis and selling products and blah, blah, blah. that to me, that, that's not building a business. It's just not. Building a business can literally mean, oh, I've got my qualification plastering, Alec Terry Plasterers. That's, you've built a business. So I want to talk about businesses as well, building a business and blah, blah, blah. Fitness is another one of those topics I want to discuss as well, because I think it's important. It's helped me in my life. It's helped other people in their lives. I actually have an idea for a guest, a few guests that, kind of surround themselves in the fitness world that I want to get on and talk to them about fitness, because I think it's important. I mean, all I want to do, the goals of this, there we go, let's go to goals now. The goals of this is to just help people within their own lives. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I know everything, I'm the smartest person ever, blah, 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 I've discovered the meaning to everything. I haven't at all, which is another big reason why I'm doing this, is because I want to figure that out myself. I want to, talk to people that can advise me and help give me advice to help my life, improve my life. That's all this is for, basically. Other goals, just to, bring insight to people's struggles. The more we know about each other, the better. My opinion. Simple as that, really. What else? Yeah, those are the main goals, really. In terms of, let me just double check it's still recording. In terms of the actual vloggy style now, in terms of what my next kind of moves are, obviously I need to, find somewhere that I can record the podcast, because I want it to be of decent, quality, of course. So I'm going to need to find a podcast studio, hopefully one that doesn't destroy my bank account. I need to create a guest sort of timetable so that I can manage and document how to get guests on consistently and make sure, they're good guests, beneficial guests. But also, that's another thing I want to say. I'm not going to pick and choose as like, oh, this guy's really successful and I'm going to pick him because of that reason. I don't want to do that. I literally want to get people on to talk about their own life experience. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to talk about these topics and discuss it and get a complete range of opinions. The best advice comes from the people that have experienced such things. And branding, I need to, make the YouTube look nice. I need to make an Instagram, make a TikTok, make a blah, 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 all the branding stuff. So, yeah, the next step for me is finding out when I can find a podcast studio, because I need to do that as my number one goal. Once that's found, I need to figure out my guests. Once I found my, sort of first 5 guests, I will start filming them and uploading them. In terms of the vlogs, I don't know how often they'll be, especially on YouTube. With Instagram, I'm going to try and do, quite a few per week. With the vlogs, it might just be more like 1 or 2, potentially a week. It depends how quickly I can get it going. Because if I end up doing multiple podcasts a week, then yeah, great. Let's get the videos out. But I don't know how often that will be. So that's going to be a question mark for now. But yeah, that's kind of my update in terms of where I want to take my content and where I want to lean into in terms of my, video production, content creation, business pursuit, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, drop a comment as well. If there's anything you want me to cover, anything, advice you have, anything you want to tell me, even if you just want to say hi, just, do it. I will read them, I will listen. Because I want this, I'm in this for the long term. I'm not, I want this to be something great. It may take years, it probably will take years, but that's the whole idea. So yeah, thanks guys, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.